All right, picture this. The cranes are finally gone, all the scaffolding is down, and you've got this brand new building just gleaming in the sun. For months, maybe even years, it's just been a busy construction site, right? But now, well, it looks completely finished. The question is the job really done? Let's dig into what actually happens next. You know the feeling. The very last brick is laid, the final window gets its polish. It really seems like the project is finished, doesn't it? It's a super common thought, especially if you're just starting out in this industry, that the team can just pack up their tools, shake some hands, and head off to the next job. But the reality is, yeah, not quite. In fact, you could argue that one of the most critical phases of the entire project is just getting started. What happens right now is the difference between just leaving behind a structure, a shell of concrete and steel, and delivering a space that actually works for the people who are going to live and work inside it. So this is where we really separate the misconception from the reality. We're diving into what's called the project handover, that phase that is so often overlooked but is absolutely essential. Let's break down what that actually means. So the formal definition, the one you'll see in the books, calls Stage 6 handover the official process of transferring a completed project to the client. But look, this isn't just about tossing someone a set of keys. It's a really detailed, systematic transfer of responsibility, of crucial information, and of the building itself. A much simpler way to think about it is like this. You finish the main build, you hand over a whole stack of important paperwork, you go around and fix any of those last little issues, and you make absolutely sure the building is ready to go. But the relationship doesn't just stop there. That's when the whole aftercare process kicks in. Okay, so if it's such a detailed process, what does it actually involve? What's on the checklist? Let's open up what I like to call the handover playbook and take a look at the official steps. All right, let's walk through this whole thing. It all starts with something called practical completion. That's the official flag that says, hey, the main construction is done. Then comes snagging, which is where you meticulously hunt down and fix all those minor imperfections. Like a little scuff on a wall or a door that's a bit sticky. After that, and this is critical, you've got commissioning and testing. Does the heating actually work? Do the elevators run smoothly? Next is the all-important documentation handover, and we're going to circle back to that in just a second. Then you close out the contract, sorting out all the final payments, and finally you move into aftercare, which is all about making sure everything is running just as planned in those crucial first few weeks and months. So what is all this crucial documentation I mentioned? Seriously, think of it as the building's user manual. It has everything, and I mean everything, the new owner needs to run, maintain, and safely operate their new facility. We're talking health and safety files, super detailed operation and maintenance info for every single system, asset lists for things like boilers and aircon units, and of course, all the warranties. I'm telling you, without this stuff, the client is basically flying blind. Okay, now for the most important part. This is where it gets personal, because understanding the handover isn't just some abstract theory. It has a real, tangible impact on your career, no matter which path you end up choosing in this industry. Let's just see how this plays out in the real world for a minute. If you're aiming to be a quantity surveyor, the handover is where the money is. You're dealing with final costs, releasing held funds, and managing all the financial liabilities. For a future construction manager, this is the moment you prove your job is about so much more than just the build. It's about logistics and client satisfaction. And hey, if you're headed for facilities management, the quality of the information you get in that handover literally determines your success in making that building perform day in and day out. And for those of you who are working with digital tools like BIM, this is where it all comes together. You have to remember, all that data you're painstakingly putting into that model, every single asset, every schedule, it's not just for creating pretty drawings. It's the building's digital DNA, and it's what makes a smooth, modern, and effective handover even possible. That model becomes the single source of truth for the building's entire life. So after all that, what's the one big idea? What's the main thing you should walk away with? It's this. The handover is not just the last page of a contract or some final bit of admin you have to get through. It is the most important bridge we have. It's what transforms a collection of steel, concrete, and glass into a living, breathing, high-performing asset that actually serves its purpose for the people inside. It's the moment the project truly comes to life. And that leaves us with a pretty interesting question about the future, doesn't it? In an age of smart buildings and constant streams of data, is the handover even a single event anymore? Or is it slowly becoming a continuous process, where a project is never really handed over, but is instead always evolving? That's definitely something to think about as you start your careers.